I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Guilty! No, this is not a replay of a couple weeks ago. We have a new guilty verdict. Hunter Biden, addict, crackhead, and hooker sommelier, who is currently in recovery. And honestly, he's really got his shit together.
Stop with those fucking drugs. They're making your wine into mush.
However, he did go through that whole, crackhead thing. And during that time, by the way, people, he bought a gun because it turns out crack doesn't really take the edge off. To be clear about what happened is Hunter bought a gun, and on the form that's asked, are you currently on drugs or are you a drug addict? He put, no. Which really isn't the best screening tool for drug addicts. A question? Really? Because people that monkey on your back is a liar, and it wants you dead. The facts of the case are that Hunter had the gun for 11 days, never had any bullets in it, and then the gun was thrown into the garbage by his girlfriend. Which probably, by the way, was the dumbest thing in the whole case. So Hunter had to go to court and was found guilty on all 3 counts. And look, I agree that people that do drugs should not have guns. All people who are obviously on drugs should have their guns taken.
I'm actually a Duke of Hazzard. And I'm also a Kentucky colonel, and
and now we have a precedent. And if they have guns and are on drugs, those people should lose their guns. And now that the president's son proved that the DOJ has not been weaponized, that Biden didn't get involved in the case and refused to pardon his son, he refused to pardon him. He didn't call the system rigged or the judge a liar or compromised, and Hunter didn't say a word about how he was railroaded or screwed over or attacked or how he should have immunity or that everybody does it. While President Douchebag granted pardons to 237 criminals, including ones that helped plan January 6th. Here's what bothers me. The facts of the Hunter case are shady and shaky. There was a deal in place last summer. Hunter was prepared to plead guilty to 2 misdemeanor tax charges and to agree to a pre-trial diversion program to resolve the potential gun charge, and this would be without a guilty plea. Because no one ever gets charged on this gun charge, by the way. Republicans in Congress said, whoa, no way. We cannot let criminals get away with gun charge. Of course, insurrections, they're fine.
It was a normal tourist visit.
Yeah, they claim that Hunter had a sweetheart deal. Yet the deal was overseen by a Trump-appointed U.S. Attorney, David Weiss, a registered Republican and confirmed in the Senate by voice vote. A Trump lawyer had approved the deal. Do you get that? And it's probably because the gun was never used, and it was only in Hunter's possession for 11 days. And it never even had ammunition in it. You Second Amendment guys are really selective, ain't you?
Give me a break. That's a bunch of malarkey.
But neither Hunter or the president are screaming about the shady-ass things that were done to them. You know why? Because Hunter wasn't a bitch like this bitch. The legal system in one of these guys' cases was actually manipulated. It was a Trump-appointed judge, it was a Trump-appointed prosecutor, and the deal was pulled off the table because of political pressure. And the Bidens just took it, and they shut up about it. That's what good Americans do. They follow the rules. And when anybody does something illegal, the Bidens took the consequences.
I take responsibility.
No, I don't take responsibility at all.
Oh, and the Bidens also don't believe in zombies. I'm Christopher Titus, and this is the Armageddon Update. Yeah, people, JFK is not coming back from the dead. God damn it. I don't understand the craziness we're living right now. Can somebody make it make sense? So, the judge's system is, the DOJ is totally weaponized, except the president's son just got convicted of 3 charges. So, Trump is weaponized, but Hunter is fucking, I don't get it. What the fuck? And everybody, Christopher Titus Podcast. Hi, we're doing the full-length podcast a little bit late this week because the Lovely Bomb Show was a little bit under the weather, so we're doing 2 this week. We're doing Monday.
Super snotty.
And was still kind of it.
Same.
So with me as always, the lovely Bombshell Ray.
What's up, people?
And the Highlander.
There could be only one.
Yeah, sorry, I didn't want to. I felt. Did you feel
Ken
a
and I
disturbance?
both are like,
there's a disturbance in the force if I don't do
we're
that.
both
Is
like,
weird.
hi, we're both here. I'm very excited to be
That's
here.
good. We love Sprig.
Hold on,
Sprig
Ken.
and summer is the best time of the
Get
year.
here, and we're both ready.
You both have toilet paper.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah. Okay. Let's move forward.
Okay, we're ready.
So to go over what the Armageddon update was about last week, and by the way, Ken Highland, we were on the road flying. Ken Highland,
That's me.
took over that thing after I did it, and he did an amazing job with
Thank you,
the
sir.
assets.
did.
Thank you very much. You
Made
always
him
do a
laugh
great
out
job.
loud.
Yeah, I was on the plane laughing. And then we have so Hunter Biden. So here's the thing: we have this whole group of people on the right that keep saying that the DOJ is weaponized, that it's the Biden's DOJ, and Biden's using it to go against his enemies. Well, then Biden's dumb as shit because his son just got convicted of 3 counts of them. And so let me go down this track. Let me ask you, how is the DOJ being weaponized exactly? Because they charge crime to a criminal? Like, explain to me what exactly happened that they're saying it. Now, is it only it's obviously only because the guy committed crimes, knows he committed crime, and this is all he has. But my thing is, if Biden was a dictator, if Biden was Putin, wouldn't Biden have freed his son? And wouldn't Trump be in jail today? And wouldn't fucking Bannon be in jail? Bannon's roaming the country talking shit.
Yeah.
And he's supposed to report to jail on July 2nd and said, I may or may not.
I love that the fact that the Republicans, because it seems like they didn't get the response that they were looking for out of all this.
Right.
Now they've spun it again to go, oh, you see, Biden did this on purpose.
Yeah.
He did it to prove.
It's a double, triple cross. Here's what happened. So what they
You mean
did.
the guy that's dementia riddled and
Oh,
can't,
yeah.
he shits himself and
the
can
guy
barely walk.
who just drifts away at things.
As of in the last week, 2 videos have come out doctored, not showing the full video that made it appear that he got lost in Europe.
So in Europe,
and
can I explain what it was?
LA fundraiser.
So if you saw this, so there's one where he's in Europe talking to all the G7 people
On a golf course, right?
And, they were doing something. It was an event. I think it was a big field or whatever. Well, so you see Biden, everyone's looking this way, and Biden kind of turns and drifts away like 8 feet. And the way it's cropped, you're like, oh no.
Oh, he's seeing a ghost.
And then they go, he's seeing a ghost.
Yeah, because everyone else
it's his other son.
Yes,
It's his
bro.
other son. They're talking to
Come on, man.
Hey, as no joke, they got Hunter. I did nothing about it because I've got the DOJ weaponized.
If you watch the full video, there are military standing in the sand trap protecting the people there for the G7, and he turns around, speaks to them, kind of goes like this, says thank you, and then turns back around.
A guy jumped out of a plane and parachuted. Like it was an event.
Oh, that's what. Oh, okay.
It was like at the drag races where a guy parachutes in with the flag, and that guy did that. So Biden turns around and was like, "Dude, you just jumped out of a plane.
Yeah,
that's no joke." So it's a total lie. They're putting up bullshit doctored stuff. We just watched John Oliver this morning. I saw AI people. You have to be careful, but you have to use it. If there was this is a guy in Alabama. Was it Alabama, Arkansas? The guy that did the thing about Martin Luther King.
Dear God.
This guy,
dear Lord.
His campaign ad to run for his district, he actually did a AI Martin Luther King generated voice. And he goes, I had a dream, but I've come back because I have a new dream.
Oh no!
You know, like the old dream that I had the first time, and it's like something Martin Luther King would never say. It's obviously written by the dumbest redneck ever, and he just goes, and that's why I came back from the dead. Now I'm going to go back to where I came from.
Vote for Donald Trump.
And then he says goodbye. It's like the weirdest. So the guy's Michigan. He's a GOP candidate, of course. Michigan. He's standing there, fat. Beard holding the American flag, the guy that MLK would
the base, the
endorse.
MLK base, right? The white guys with beards. Yes.
The guy first puts out an apology, says that a friend of a campaign staffer got his login credentials, signed into TikTok, made the video, posted the video, and he's fired the staffer. Within an hour, he then posts, I'm not firing him. In fact, I'm giving him a raise because I do believe MLK would back me.
Whoa, okay.
So,
which one's AI now?
You guys, please go and watch this video because it is horrific.
What I do like, though,
it's comically
I
ridiculously
just want to
bad.
go down a few things.
It's literally if even Wyatt would have done better and Jet would have done better. It's like a 4-year-old.
Wyatt definitely would have done better. He's been trained.
It's like a 4-year-old.
Yeah,
that did it. And the guy's like, I have another dream. What?
I woke up and I'm
but also
dreaming. Like he doesn't even understand what the context of that speech was. It's a crazy.
But I'm gonna go back to where I came from.
We could put it. Holy, we'll put it right here, just for the people.
I have another dream. Yes, it is me, Martin Luther King. I came back from the dead to say something. As I was saying, I have another dream. That Anthony Hudson will be Michigan's 8th district's next congressman. Yes, I have a dream again. Okay, now I am going back to where I came from. Goodbye.
My name is Anthony Hudson, and I approve this message.
Because, by the way, and we're stealing from John Oliver, but it was so ridiculous.
We did not steal any of his jokes. No. You should go watch John Oliver
if you can see John Oliver this week.
He called, we always love how he and his team write, and he called Tucker Carlson a human boat shoe. I mean, it's like he's got great descriptors. Today he called Stephen Miller he always looks like a condom filled with soup.
It made me mad. So I'm like, I gotta write these Armageddon updates better. I gotta set the bar at John Oliver. That's where I gotta set the bar. So anyway, I want to keep knowing. So if the DOJ is weaponized against the Republicans, why is Bob Menendez currently on trial? And you know what the weird thing is?
Let's bring up again the guy that was just tried in the Bronx, Tom Barrack.
Tom Barrack, who got off. Barrack was a Republican who was involved in January 6th, and they found that he basically couldn't find enough evidence to convict him.
No, it was his inaugural
fund. Oh, all the $110 million they spent on high school cheerleaders that marched and marching bands. For the inaugural.
Somebody's getting investigated? Cory Booker? Is he also getting investigated?
No, there's
for something?
another guy, Aguiar from Phoenix, from Arizona.
Oh,
there's another Democrat that's hardcore. Got indicted.
Well,
They're indicting.
Let's just go down it really quickly.
So this entire while you looked it up, this entire weaponized DOJ is also going after Democrats. Mm-hmm. So please explain to me how the DOJ is weaponized. Trump committed crime after crime. Republicans testified against him. David Pecker, the head of the Inquirer, said, yeah, he did this to hide the information that he was fucking a porn star while his wife was raising a newborn. And then he has the ball. But you know what it is? His people are so fucking dumb. I love the poorly educated. And dumb people hate being told they're dumb. But if you don't spend the time to think it through, if you don't spend the time to put a little fucking just critical thinking into this, explain to me. Now, if Biden was arresting Jim Jordan, who violated his subpoena, by the way, and never, by the way, Jim Jordan violated his subpoena, told him to fuck off about January 6th, and they didn't do shit to him.
Right.
They didn't do anything to him. So you've got criminal after criminal after criminal after criminal. People that actually backed Boebert tweeted out 1776. You got Marjorie Taylor Greene saying the insurrection wasn't an insurrection. She's saying we need to do it again. They're preaching violence. And who pointed it out? Jon Stewart pointed out something really great. He said that if you look at it, cancel culture. He talked about cancel culture. The Republicans are always bitching about cancel culture, but the people who have been literally canceled and lost their jobs were Republicans. Liz Cheney, Adam Kinzinger.
By the GOP.
Anybody who talked shit about Trump and was like, this guy's a psychopath and had some critical thinking.
They've canceled all of them, even Barr. None of those people that came out against him, all of those staffers that testified at January 6th, the girl that said that he said remove the
magnetometers.
Yeah.
I love when you mess up word because I do it all the time.
No one is going to get hired anywhere unless they go to MSNBC and get a job there because they turned on Trump. So when Trump always projects when he says that something's happening. So while he was president, American oversight actually went into...
Sorry to interrupt you, but Hitler's guy always said, always accuse the other side of what you're doing.
Right.
That's one of the rules. Go ahead.
So even while he was president, there's no way ever that a president should be commenting on an investigation, calling for an investigation, tweeting about an investigation.
Right.
That's interfering with the Justice
Right.
Department, which should be an independent entity,
Or
which is
sending
why
out
Biden
jurors'
didn't
names and
comment
everything.
once during the trial on any of Trump's shit,
No, he
on
didn't.
Hunter's shit, except to say, no, I won't pardon him. Yes, I will respect the decision. So during office, he regularly called upon the Justice Department to investigate people he thought of as political opponents, specifically Hillary Clinton.
Yep.
Senior officials within the FBI, James Comey,
So-
Andrew McCabe,
Can we just go through these though with you? I'm sorry to interrupt you, but
and
Hillary Clinton locked
Special
her up.
Counsel Robert Mueller.
Lock her up. Then he had the balls to say,
Last
remember, lock her up. That was the chant. He would go to rallies and get thousands of people chanting, lock her up.
With merch. He had merch of that.
And
banners.
They had t-shirts, exactly.
Websites dedicated.
He then said, I never said that. In an interview recently, like last week, right? It was last week, right, babe? He said, I never said that. I never
on
said
Fox. And then one of the girls nailed him on it because we have 1,000 videos of him
Yes.
saying,
Uh-huh.
lock her up. He said to them, he goes, actually, I told him, cool it, calm it down, bring it down.
Oh.
And then you see him at rallies going, yeah, lock her up, son of a bitch.
Cue the tape.
It's like, yeah, roll the tape.
And they're all chanting.
Yeah.
He
Andrew
called
McCabe.
on Robert Mueller. Andrew McCabe lost his pension. He
Right.
fired him the day before his pension
The
went into
da-
effect.
this is how-
Luckily, Biden rectified that.
Excuse me. This is how weaponized it is. This man had spent his life in the FBI, right? FBI. Andrew McCabe was FBI, and he spent his life there.
Yep.
One day before he was going to retire and get his pension,
Yep.
Trump fired him so he couldn't get it.
Fucking dirty
Now,
scumbag.
Now Biden reinstated it, and
Of
McCabe's
course.
a Republican.
Yeah, he was the deputy
Of course,
director of the
because he's
FBI.
weaponizing it.
He was the deputy director first. So
Right.
then we found out later that he called on the IRS and they did it. They put Comey and McCabe into years-long audits because Trump called on them to do that.
So he not only weaponized the DOJ, he weaponized the IRS against his enemies.
He then, after he got acquitted in the impeachment trial, he then Today is not my day. He then exerted further political pressure on the department, including constantly tweeting about his displeasure at the sentencing recommendations of his associates, i.e. Roger Stone.
Right.
He tweeted, "This is a horrible and very unfair situation. The real crimes are on the other side. We cannot allow this miscarriage of justice." The president tweeted that about his own Department of Justice.
So he weaponized it at every turn,
Yeah.
basically. Every
Yeah.
turn he could, everything he could get involved in, he did. And they were saying today that this 2020 Tribe program, again, John Oliver, I give credit for the information. And I'm going to look it up. I'm actually going to download it for this next week because I'm going to talk about it on Wednesday and read it. The 2025 project basically says that the government wants to take all the government jobs that have to be and that their civil servants are protected. You don't have to do what the president says. You have to follow the Constitution. That's your job. If the president tells you to do something illegal, you can't be fired for that. As a matter of fact, you're a whistleblower.
Right.
So Trump wants to make it so every single one of the civil servant jobs, all of them, he can fire anybody who doesn't agree with him.
Damn, that fucking
He
dictator.
wants to change that.
Yeah.
He weaponizes everything.
He-
He weaponizes the bankruptcy system.
Yep.
He weaponizes the media.
Yep.
He weaponizes
Banking
Tax
system?
laws.
Yep.
Yeah. Tax
Fucking-
laws, banking system. Yep. Weaponize the Enquirer. against
Women's credibility
Yeah.
and societal
norms.
tendency to not believe women. After he tweeted that about Roger Stone, Bill Barr complied. He tweeted, Bill Barr then got involved, and then he tweeted, "Congratulations to Attorney General Bill Barr for taking charge of this case that was totally out of control and should not have been brought." And then goes on to say Bob Mueller is a criminal
Like
and
to
he
thank
lied
Bill
to
Barr
Congress.
for weaponizing the DOJ. Basically what he said. And then he has the balls to say Biden's do it. Biden's stayed out of it the entire time.
Then he tweeted about crooked Hillary's top aide, Huma Abedin. The tweets go on and on and on. He called for FBI to be disbanded.
He recently said
The FBI, he wants, like, by the way, why do criminal, so the guy who follows law and order wants the FBI disbanded. The Republican Party wants to get rid of the FBI.
Yes.
Do you guys
It's insane.
Do you hear? And they say it so much. We've started to go, "Hey, I want to get rid of the FBI." Do you guys?
You know what else he just
the
recently...
people that brought down Al Capone, the people that bought that serial killers, the people that find out who's fucking ripping us country, the people who found Bob Menendez, who's dealing with the Egyptian government. The fuck are you guys talking about? The fuck are you talking about? You want to end the FBI? He
recently said, it just came out that he said that he would have people executed. He wanted to have people executed. So he would not only weaponize, other things, he would weaponize weapons.
And people say he wouldn't do that. Well,
he meant excreted.
Yeah, he meant
wants to poop on people, which sounds more like him.
Well, he's already doing that. Yeah. He's doing that in court.
I mean, I'm going to poop him out. By the way,
he told James Comey, who was then his director of the FBI, he wanted a pledge of loyalty and told him he had to drop a case against National Security Advisor Michael Flynn, who ultimately pled guilty and then pulled that plea.
He got convicted, by the way. And then
Comey refused. He got fired. He fired the deputy
so
director
that would be
of the FBI.
weaponizing the DOJ, wouldn't that?
Then Jeff Sessions, pressured by Trump, informed Congress that he was considering appointing a second special counsel to investigate Hillary Clinton because the first one found nothing.
So at every turn, Trump has weaponized the DOJ. Yeah. At every freaking turn. Every turn, Trump has tried to actually stop the DOJ, FBI, anybody investigating his crimes and his people's crimes. Then what happened when they got convicted? Remember what happened when they got convicted at the end?
Oh, he pardoned them.
He pardoned 227 criminals.
Yeah.
Michael Flynn was at the meeting with Putin in Russia, came out, said, we need to, remember he was on QAnon and stuff? Crazy as fuck. And this guy and his brother, on January 6th, his brother was one of the generals that wouldn't send troops to the Capitol. The fuck is everybody talking about?
Again, he pled guilty until Trump got involved. And then he changed his lawyer to Crazy Dr. Pepper and then pulled that plea.
He changed his lawyer to Crazy Dr. Pepper.
Then he didn't like Jessie Liu. Remember this? The U.S. Attorney for the District of Columbia. She resigned from the Treasury Department because Trump withdrew her nomination because she was going to terrorism and financial crimes. He didn't like how she handled Roger Stone's investigation and that she wasn't aggressive enough with Andrew McCabe. There's so many, but then I think one of the biggest ones, obviously, except for him pardoning all of those people that our justice system was processing or had processed, he then interfered with SDNY. Jeffrey Berman ended up writing a book. He was the U.S. attorney for SDNY. He was the one doing he did a lot of cases that Trump popped in and out of, but one of which was Michael Cohen. Berman said in his book and has said in subsequent interviews that after SDNY prosecuted two prominent Trump allies, he was contacted by Barr's DOJ told to prosecute Democratic lawyer Greg Craig before Election Day to, quote, even things out. The book led Dick Durbin, chair of the Senate Judiciary Committee, to open an investigation into Berman's allegations, but obviously nothing came from it. He was instructed to move all references from Michael Cohen's paperwork that referenced Individual 1, because it said that he did those crimes at the direction and for the benefit of Individual 1. So they had to remove, they redacted all those references. And then when Michael Cohen got out and was going to write that book, he had him put back in
jail. He didn't just have, by the way, weaponizing. He didn't just have Michael Cohen put back in jail. He had Michael Cohen put back in solitary.
Yeah.
Right? He had him put back in solitary.
The white collar crime
So
guy.
this motherfucker is going to do everything and anything against his quote unquote enemies, which means he wants to commit crime freely with absolutely no consequences. So the one time, and you know what, here's the weird part. Okay, so let's balance it. Yes, Trump. And by the way, if you think, oh man, he's just talking. No, he's not. He did it.
No, he does it.
He fucking
carries
does
it out.
He did it every time.
Yes.
He has separated families on the border. We had camps. We had concentration camps.
That thing Stephen Miller's talking about doing at our border.
Oh my God!
Wow.
Put the military on the border, and no one will cross. We're going to put the U.S. military, which we can't, which legally is against the Constitution.
Yes, we're going to empower the National Guard to carry out immigration enforcement. We're going to deploy them to the border. We're going to deploy the U.S. military to the border. We're going to have camps down there where we send them while they await planes that fly them out if they get flown out, if they're not criminal. I don't
I'm
know.
sure they're going to get treated the best under the Trump administration.
Do you
like they
know
were.
what happened the last time people were put in camps? It's just really never worked out with hindsight.
Yeah, we have some examples where it didn't. I think going back to Egypt when they were building the pyramids with the. We all saw that movie.
What is the GOP? Why do they want us to go back to medieval Europe?
Yes.
With this?
Yes.
And they think they're all going to be like dukes and fucking earls.
100%.
And they're buying their way in.
Yes, the guy with the Silverado and the truck nuts believes he's going to be. I'm Duke of Alabama. Yeah, I'm a Duke of Hazard. That's nice. You got it. You fucking so fast. You got it so quick. I hate you. That was good. That was so good. I'm a Duke of Hazard.
It was Don Jr.
Don Jr. Dude, when you found that clip, so if you guys will look at last week's Armageddon update, I point out that everybody who's high and does drugs should have their guns taken away.
Yes.
So, and we talked about it before. I said use Don Jr. and he was like, which is obvious, we're going to do that. And there's a picture of Don Jr. with guns, and then I don't know where you found that video because I've looked for videos, and Don Jr. high as shit.
Yes.
Goes what did he say?
He said, well, I'm a Duke. I'm a Duke of Hazard.
I'm a Duke of Hazard, and
I'm a colonel in the Kentucky Confederate Army.
Like, no, but he doesn't even say it that. He's like, and I'm a colonel in the Kentucky Confederate Army. He's like,
and he's
where
like,
was he?
He's drunk as shit. Wherever he was doing an interview somewhere, but he was
he was doing his podcast.
It is the highest.
Boy, his lady friend has a podcast, Kimberly Guilfoyle, and we saw her today. He said she looks like a clown, and I said, no, she looks like Pennywise. You have to put a picture of her up. It is I've never.
Yeah, put a picture
Holy
today.
Merly.
Right.
Boy, does bitterness and evil change people's faces.
Doesn't
and old
it?
Gavin used to be married to her.
I said to Ray, I go, she used to be
hard to
kind of
forgive.
pretty. What? Like it's dark.
Yeah.
There's a darkness happening.
She's like a Disney villain.
Gavin's wife now calls herself the first partner of California, which I also have trouble forgiving.
Well, on this new show I'm writing, guys, we're going to be in Phoenix this week at the Tempe Improv, and we're doing CB Live. It's not called CB
It's
Live
not
anymore.
called CB Live now. It's called
like Improv
Desert
North.
Ridge Improv.
Desert Ridge Improv. So we're doing
Like
that's
Desert
Thursday.
Ridge, right? Yeah.
It's Thursday. We're leaving Wednesday night. But I want you to know that we are going to be there doing the new show. So I'm breaking in the new material, and there's a whole bit about. I'm kind of going both sides on it. Like, so the Puritans started this country. The Puritans.
Yeah.
Well, the more you read about the Puritans, I realize this country was started by assholes. Like, these people were not. If you didn't pray the way they told you to, if you didn't read the Bible the way they told you to, if you didn't worship the way they told you to, they could decide to hang you.
They thought England at the time with the kings was too constricting.
Yeah.
So they wanted to come here.
You guys aren't conservative enough. We're coming here, and we're going to start people where we can whip them randomly. And by the way, I have to give Ray and my son Jet for both coming out of just convincing me to do a bit that is.
He did not write that.
I
wrote it, and he didn't think it would work. So I called Jet because Jet is doing comedy now, and he watches a lot of comedy, and he has kind of my dumb sensibility about comedy.
He is a little abstract in his comedy. Yes, I would say that.
So I pitched it to him on speaker, and he lost it. And then he goes, fine. If you both laugh that hard at it, then I'll try it. And it killed. And then I was in the green room like, ha ha.
And then I added my own.
Of course. Now take credit for it.
No, if we had to compare ideas,
give it to him.
So basically, so what happened was the Quakers. The reason Robert Titus, the original, my 10th grandfather, got kicked out of the Massachusetts colony was because. And by the way, I totally get that. Don't you get that?
Yes.
Like, there's like 1,000 people on the planet, and they're like, you guys get the fuck out.
Yeah.
Like, we're the Tituses. Yeah, we know. Get out. And I'm like, I'm related to those people.
I've seen your show. Get the fuck out of here.
Yeah. I know who these people are. So what happened was, the Quakers came into town. The Puritans hated the Quakers because they were the Crips and the Bloods of the 1600s. And what happened was that the Quakers believed that you worship God wherever you are. You can just worship God. You didn't have to go to church. You have to do it a certain way. As long as you believed in God and you respected the Lord, you were fine. Well, the Puritans were like, oh no, you do not. These butter churn up the butt Puritans. What they did was they said these Quakers have to leave. And they fined them. Well, one of the girls, 3 of the girls actually decided to protest and got naked and walked through the middle of town during the day. And the Tituses were like, hello.
Yeah, not the best protest, ladies.
That is not a protest.
Ray used to do this.
That is
very
welcome.
I used to do a bit about women. I don't know if some of you guys used to see me when I was horrible, but
It's a great bit, though.
the protests, I should bring that back at some point about how
In the 60s.
the worst protest, women took off their bras to protest, to make a point, and then I act out the women jumping up and down.
around the bonfires and going, and we're like, yeah, this is okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
why don't you
whatever
just
you
sit
want.
down?
It turned a lot of men to help the feminist movement. It really did. And also dropped boobs over the years to waist level. But so they walked
Grandma
through town.
takes offense at
So
that.
they walked through town, and so what the Puritans did was they arrested them, got them. They then strapped them to a wagon, and now they were naked. That's why they got in trouble. Then they stripped them to the waist, strapped them to a wagon, and made them walk 80 miles. And every time they get to a new town, they would whip them. Ah! And that's how the Puritans invented the first car horn.
Hey!
And then I added, ah! On your left.
And then it
Seems
turns
like
into
it's stupid.
auga.
Yeah,
I'm not doing that.
Ow! Oh!
Me, me.
Yeah, and that became. And by the way,
And it became,
Yeah,
and also
exactly.
that's also where the people in those towns that heard the whipping and the screaming flipped people off because they heard the horn. They were like,
yeah.
ah! Mm.
That's where the Tituses learned it. This episode brought to you by AG1. Forgot my AG1 this weekend on the road.
And I forgot
Had
this
it
morning.
this morning though. You forgot this morning. Oh,
How do you forget
I'm
it?
fasting for 2 days, so
Oh, good. How do you forget your AG1? That's like,
I usually
The
pack the
lifeline.
travel packs. I know. I was seriously regretting it, especially given how I was feeling when I.
But
went
you
on the
also
road.
don't notice it. Like when you forget it, you
Yeah.
physically notice it by 1 o'clock. You're like,
Especially when we're on the road like
Shit,
that.
why do I feel? Oh, I didn't get my AG1.
and you can't just
it
run to
works.
the supermarket and get it, right?
No.
You have to
Yeah.
get a subscription.
It's
is so good.
highly specialized.
Yes.
So it's kind of like basically what I think of AG1 is doing. It's a greens powder that you just drop in a shaker bottle with some water, or you put it in your smoothie, which is what I do. It basically fills in nutrient gaps in your diet because none of us are eating all the crap that we need to eat because that would be damn near impossible. AG1 has over 75 vitamins, minerals, whole food source superfoods,
and adaptogens.
prebiotics, probiotics. I stopped ordering all the vitamins. We have that
Right.
cabinet with all the vitamins in it that if you open, stuff falls out.
It's like it's just you're attacked.
Pills
You're attacked by
flying
a
at you.
GNC.
yeah, and we don't need it anymore.
But also, you don't have to put it in a smoothie. It tastes so good.
Yeah.
It's this green drink that when you look at it, the color it is, you're like, okay, that's not going to taste good. And you taste it. It has this tropical flavor to it. It's really good. You can drink it straight. Just put a scoop in a thing of water, boom, down it, you're done, and it tastes good.
I was actually, when we were in Kansas City on Saturday night, great shows, by the way, I was texting with my friend Amber, who is a personal trainer and nutrition expert. And I was telling her about AG1, and she was like, you know what? I don't take stuff like that. She goes, I would, but a lot of times the way they source stuff, it's not, the best way. It's not ethically sourced. It's not this.
Mined by it's
And I
diamond
said,
mind.
I said, go look. And so we're texting back and forth. I'm pitching products when I'm in the green room. And she goes and reads it. And then she texts me back and she goes, okay, maybe I was wrong. I can't find anything. This all looks really good. She said, I thought I remembered something. And I said, well, they're also always reformulating, trying to make it better, get better quality, backed with science, and then they're reformulating. And so she goes, okay, well, how do I get that then? You guys have a promo code?
But so many people, like so many cynical companies will come up with a product to go after a product to come up with their version of it. Dr. Pepper, Mr. Pibb, AG1, the guy had gut issues and he couldn't find anything to help him. So he kept formulating this and formulating this and formulating till it finally worked. Had enough healthy stuff in it where his gut stopped hurting. You've actually, since we started taking this, because Ray used to have some serious gut problems.
Debilitating.
And yes, debilitating. And they've kind of gone away.
I also had major surgery.
No,
in a research study, AG1
that's true. And
was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in the gut, which is what works together to break down food and alleviate bloating, promote digestive regularity, and aid in digestive comfort. Man, when your digestion isn't working, nothing's
You
work.
need good plumbing.
You need this.
Your gut
if
is
you're
connected
having
to
any
your brain. Like, you know,
fatigue,
right?
Joint pain. Like when stuff gets slowed down here, it ruins everything else. And I always think about your dad's favorite joke, but about how the asshole runs
everything. The eyes and the ears and the nose and the mouth and the ears were all arguing about who ran the body. And the eyes are like, I see everything. I keep us safe. And the ears are like, yeah, but I hear when danger's coming. I run the body. And it was like, I smell danger. If there's fire or smoke, I smell it first. The mouth is going, I tell everybody what we're going, what we're doing. And I run the body. And the asshole spoke up and said, I think I run the body. And they all started laughing hysterically at the asshole. They were just saying, dude, shut up,
You're
asshole. You're the butthole. What are you doing? And then, and so the butthole closed up. And in 2 days, the eyes went blurry. The ears started ringing. The mouth couldn't even form words anymore. And the nose plugged up. And so the proof is that you don't need to look to run things. All you got to really be is an asshole.
That was his dad's
That's my dad. He told that joke so many times.
Father's Day. Give it to dad jokes.
And that's a Father's Day.
It is. And your dad, that would be his proof that AG1 is the most important. If there's one product you guys know that we trust to support whole body health, it's AG1. That's why we've been with them for so long. It's why I sit in green rooms having vodka and pitching them to my best friends. It's easy and satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try it and you'll get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/Titus. That's drinkag1.com/Titus. Go check it out.
That's why you know when we pitch a product, because just you guys don't know what goes on all the time. So Ray will sit down and go, they want us to advertise these products, and she'll tell me what they are, and I'll look them up, and I'm like, no, I think integrity in advertising, and we love this. We don't need to advertise products. We love doing it with the podcast.
Does this one have adaptogens? Yes or no?
Yeah, exactly. No adaptogens. We are out. So we use it. I wanted to talk about electric car.
I was trying to find what she said.
Oh, we want to talk about the Supreme Court. Holy shit! There was another shooting. You guys know. So
there's a bunch of them.
There was a bunch of.
Yeah.
So by the way, because they can't report them all. Because we had at a water park, 30 people got shot. Look this up.
Can I just read this? That she said this just so I'm not lying, dude. I'm looking over the AG1 website, dude, and it looks amazing in here. I could have sworn when I read the package before it was different, but I love these ingredients from what I'm reading. Everything says sustainable and organic.
And that's a professional who trains people for
nutrition
a living.
Expert. She's
nutrition
certified.
Yeah.
Okay,
do me a favor, look up the new shooting. There's a shooting at a water park. I want to talk about this because Clarence Thomas on Friday.
Can you talk? Yes.
The Supreme Court were like, you know what? Bump stocks aren't really the mechanism that makes guns become a machine gun. So they are no longer outlawed. Now, I want to remind everybody, the Trump administration, with the backing of Republicans and Democrats, banned bump stocks.
One good thing. He did one.
Yeah, like one.
Well, Congress did that.
Congress did, yeah. But so now we've got this oh my God, again, between all four of them, between Any Crusty Butt Club, you got Beer Goggles, you got Uncle Thomas, and then you got what the hell's his name? Alito. Yeah.
Flags are
flaggy Alito.
My wife loves flags.
He's not into flag. He's anti-flag.
Yeah, my wife did it. Hey, Sam, my wife did it. Alito. That's his name. Anyway, and then Roberts is just inept.
I want to say this, and I think this was one of the most important things I've heard about this next election. Biden, Jimmy Kimmel, Obama were talking on stage last Saturday here in LA, and Biden said, to be very clear, the next administration most likely will be choosing 2 U.S. Supreme Court justices. So I want you to think about that for all the people that are like, I don't care. I know he's crazy. I just like that he's brash and does and says whatever.
He's indicted like my dad.
Yeah. I want you to think that then he will have placed Donald Trump, the orange cat piss toupee guy,
game show host,
the guy that we put on Comedy Central and roasted because he was such a boob. The whole world laughed at him.
Reality
we all
douchebag.
made fun of him. Yes, the porn star guy. That guy will then have selected 5 Supreme Court justices that will all be young and will live a very long time because they all seem to have the best health care.
Imagine Stephen Miller on the Supreme Court. He could do
It's
that.
over. It's fucking over.
He could do that.
Yeah, oh, yeah. Yeah.
I need for people to really think about that, and that guy will have the nuclear codes.
Fucking
that guy.
terrifying.
Right, dipshit, guy, dumbass, diaper-wearing, kitten heels, douchebag will have the nuclear codes.
So that shooting happened in Rochester Hills in Michigan. 9 people were shot in what appears to be a random shooting. Some of the people shot were children.
What's the difference between a random shooting and a directed
I guess
shooting?
there was no motive. He just decided to pull off somewhere and, go for it. He pulled up to Brooklyn's Plaza splash pad, left his car, and opened fire from roughly 20 feet away, reloading multiple times. He fired potentially 28 times.
And 9 people got shot.
Let me get this straight. So the Supreme Court had to hold off on.
They're supposed to protect us.
Yeah, they're supposed to make
They're
decisions
supposed to
on our
set
behalf.
a level that the American public are
Yes.
supposed to follow. Right.
And they decided to, they're going to hold off on the Trump's immunity case.
Yeah, nah. That's
Before
just
an election?
one
Why
of-
would we
one
need
in
to
the
do
history of
that?
our country? We've only had one. Yeah.
Well, more important things to do. Let's make sure that we make bump stocks
Yeah.
legal.
Can we make? How do we make AR-15s kill more people quicker? Because let me see. Do we have any examples of that? Oh yeah, we do. Remember Vegas where he shot 600 people and killed 60 in less than 10 minutes?
What in motherfucking practical purpose?
Right.
Would it?
None.
What
He
is
said
there?
it did not meet the legal definition of a machine gun.
Who doesn't give? Who gives a fuck? Make it up. You're making shit up already.
Well, what he did
Make
was
shit up to make us safe.
Yeah.
You're
You
supposed
shit up
to make
save-
the rules.
You're supposed to save America.
Save us.
Yeah, but here's the thing. They make the rules, but they don't have any. That's the weird thing. And they're fighting against the ethics thing. And even the Republicans are going, no, the Supreme Court doesn't need ethics.
It's their job to interpret some of these laws that are in place and go,
Right.
okay, and
Well,
then make a decision on it.
But that's the problem is that you give a corrupt asshole who's took $4 million.
The fucking gun lobby is giving them money.
Uncle Thomas took made $4 to $8 million off of vacations and shit from billionaires, and the billionaire that's paying for it has cases in front of the Supreme Court. His corporations do.
Harlan, where the fuck has statues of machine guns and bump stocks?
No, he actually has
in a garden.
He has a garden full of dictator statues.
Hitler's in there.
Hitler, Mussolini. He's got a garden full of statues.
I was just asking my brother if this meant that Glock switches would become legal. So my brother serves
shit.
warrants on Glock switches. He said no. I said why? I think he means does that case specifically legalize Glock switches? And that's not what I'm asking. I mean, that will now pave the road. So my brother last week served a warrant on it was a controlled delivery of a Glock switch, and went into the home and
This is scary.
I just want to be careful, but
Costco is selling
So
missile launchers.
let's be vague. He went into the home, and the man they were coming to go get was working on something that we would think a bunch of terrorists would
they had
work
to
on.
leave the home
They had to
immediately, and
clean it.
ATF had to come in. And this person who was building these things was 100 yards from an elementary school.
Wow.
So he said a bump stock doesn't make a weapon automatic. A Glock switch does. I don't know.
I'm sorry, but this is the problem. When you get corrupt people interpreting laws, they're going to interpret them not for the better of the American people. They're going to interpret them to actually help their asshole buddies who put some money in their bank account or bought them a fucking motorhome.
Yeah.
That's what bothers me. And so we don't have. So listen, when you get a guy like Trump, who's going to get the most corrupt people, but no one's still answered what happened to that $200,000 Brett Kavanaugh owed. No one's come up with where that money went.
Forgot about that.
Who paid for his country club memberships. All this shit was done. He was in debt, heavy duty debt. Then you've got Annie Krusty Butt Plug, who's in a cult. She's literally in a cult, and she's on the Supreme Court now. And by the way, both of them lied. They fucking lied at their confirmation hearings. We will not change set precedent. Roe is set precedent. I am not going to change set precedent. And they fucking did it the second they got in. So you've got Supreme Court justices who are supposed to be the most integrity-filled people that we appoint to a lifetime term. And they fucking lied. And they're judges. So I don't understand, how come we are not just, well, they actually made it illegal. We did. They protested the Supreme Court after Roe, and then they made it illegal to protest at the Supreme Court.
And Trump's bragging
in
about
America,
it.
by the
Fuck.
way. In America. They made it illegal. So
I'm reading.
So right, they can make shit up. They
so
can make shit up.
if you guys don't know, it's a technicality. So the Vegas shooter was able to shoot, that was probably the most people injured in a shooting that we've ever seen. And he had 11 weapons that were fitted with a bump stock. Sorry, 12 of his rifles.
So what he did was, guys, he
I'm
set
going to
them up.
explain it. A bump stock replaces a rifle's standard stock, which is the part held against the shoulder. It frees the weapon to slide back and forth rapidly, harnessing that energy from the kickback that shooters feel when the weapon fires. The stock then bumps back and forth between the shooter's shoulder and trigger finger, causing the rifle to rapidly fire again and again. So it's not actually happening inside the weapon. It's a technicality. The shooter holds his or her trigger finger in place while maintaining forward pressure on the barrel and backward pressure on the pistol grip. The bump stock allows a weapon to fire at nearly the rate of a machine gun without technically converting it to a fully automatic firearm.
So
that's the technicality.
It just bounces. You can just bounce it, and it just keeps firing.
So what the guy did, I was let you explain what it is because I wasn't going to explain that. I was going to explain something else. He had 11 guns with bump stocks ready. So he didn't have to ever stop. He actually, boom, blew the window out. Brrr, empty. Brrr, empty. And you hear it. Do you remember we listened to it? They were playing on the news. And it's fucking brutal. Brrr.
Yeah.
Now, then there was another video of a man who actually tested out an AR, tried to shoot as fast as he could with an AR, and then he put a bump stock on it. And this gun guy, this fucking serious guy, I was watching the video. The guy goes, Jesus.
Yeah.
So when a dude like who's literally 100% he was trying to prove something that he didn't prove, that it wasn't, it wasn't a machine gun. He was like, Jesus. And I'm like, so here's, all this is due. Ray, can you answer me this? What do you think could he possibly be ruling like this for the American people? Explain to him. Do you have any idea?
The oddest thing to overturn Congress, a bipartisan Congress under Trump.
Right.
It would have to be Harlan Crow, NRA ties. There's money. Follow the money. It's always about money. I was just looking up.
When they announced it, she screamed out, "Make it make sense!"
Yeah, a Glock switch is attached to the rear of the slide of a Glock handgun, which literally converts the semi-automatic pistol into a selective fire machine pistol capable of fully automatic fire. So we're talking about technicalities here.
The tiniest technicality.
Both of which will only be used against civilians and law enforcement.
Right.
Like, by civilians, I mean not people out shooting each other for game and people living their lives. Yeah. And law enforcement. And that's why I don't get so many law enforcement back Trump and back this kind of shit. Like, you can tell, my brother is nothing if not black and white and technical, and he's right. That is technically true, but it's only going to be used against you. And when I heard about this decision, who I thought about was my brother wearing a vest this big and serving warrants on these places. And nobody seems to care. Back the blue. Make it make sense.
No. By the way, I think they changed the fuck the blue.
For hunting.
I think
it's for hunting. They need them to shoot deer. They showed a video of a guy on CNN that shot.
That's what I just said. This.
Oh, sorry. I was reading about. I was trying to. And you see his face, how shocked he is at the difference that this bump stock makes. And he goes from pow pow to da 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 da.
And he said, Jesus Christ. You go, Jesus.
It is.
If you're hunting, right, but you're using a fucking like machine gun. First of all, that's not hunting. Second, what do you get?
It destroys the meat.
You can't even hang it up on the wall. It's exploded.
No.
Well, you can't even eat it because you've destroyed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, you've destroyed.
You're not even going to hang it up because it's.
And also, what an AR, even without a bump stock, an AR-15, the way the 223 round sprawls, it goes in and turns.
And
it just goes, and it just shreds.
Oh my god!
So all this hunting bullshit is flat out bullshit. Because you guys don't know this, but I have weapons, and I understand how this shit works. So when you guys say, "Man, you don't even know what you're talking about," shut up.
Yeah.
And so it's a lie. It's bullshit.
And what could be what is the profit margin on these? What is it? It's metal. It's a little bit of material. It's manufacturing. Like, can't they find a fucking profit somewhere else?
Oh, no. The NRA's money, though, it doesn't.
They don't care.
Yeah, NRA's money comes.
God damn.
NRA fundraises like Donald Trump fundraises.
But so here's my thing. Here's what scares me about all this.
I got the black and white answer.
Okay, go ahead.
He said, technically, you're still pulling the trigger each time the rifle with a bump stock goes off. The Glock switch, it's a single pull. That's an automatic weapon. Now, if the Chevron defense is finally struck down by SCOTUS, things may differ, but I think Congress outlawed auto weapons around 1930. The law is the difference. What ATF does is make up rules, just like EPA and FDA. Rules are not laws.
Oh.
So why did they do it? Okay, so by the way, we can go back to the 30s. Do you know why they outlawed machine guns in the 30s? Because there was a
Trump
serious
Sr.
mob. Yeah, Trump Sr. and his cronies. Yes. But the mob was used. All the gangs and stuff. All the criminals, the mobsters were using machine guns and just destroying each other and destroying people. So now we've got. And again, I want to remind everybody: this does not happen anywhere else on the planet Earth. I'm not talking there's some countries, nowhere. You take the worst, as Trump would say, shithole country where supposedly there's violence and crazy. This doesn't even happen in Mexico with the cartels. The only place in the world where we have mass shootings where tens and tens of people are killed instantly. And or is America. It's the only fucking place. Nowhere else.
And the problem is, like, we all just can't abandon the country, right?
No, they have
going.
mass shootings in some places once in a while. We have one a day,
correct.
At least.
And I think to your point, that splash park thing happened on a weekend where 2 people were shot and killed and 14 others injured in a shooting at a Juneteenth celebration in Texas. And also 7 were shot at a car meetup in Massachusetts. This all happened on the same weekend.
At a hot rod show, at a car meet. Jesus.
It is getting really hot. It does put you in a bad mood.
I get it.
So
it's grumpy.
I
You're grumpy. I'm sweaty. I need to shoot some people.
Yeah.
I get it.
I need to get into that AC.
So you know what? And I'm not that efficient with it. Thank God the Supreme Court made it so you could have a bump stock.
This episode brought to you by HelloFresh.
Oh.
Yeah, I'm super excited about HelloFresh, actually.
Yes.
Okay, we should probably say what it is. It's America's #1 meal delivery kit. It comes to you pre-portioned in bags. You can choose for how many people and how many times a week. I do 3 times a week for 4 people because then I get leftovers each night. Ken does not. Ken eats all of 4 people's servings in one
He
sitting.
tries. He initially cooks it to save it, but that doesn't happen. And by the way, I've had the same thing where I finish my first portion,
So good.
and she's like, "It's in Tupperware,
Yes.
in the cooling in the fridge," and I'm like, "You know what? I'm gonna have." I said, "How much could it be?"
I love it because it's so pretty and you have your 2 sides and
So
your
good.
main course thing usually, unless it's a pasta thing, and I'll arrange it in the Tupperware for each of us because if I don't, he'll eat both of ours. And it's like you get a whole beautiful restaurant meal the next day too. So the other thing that I'm excited about is that they have added all of these pantry items. Did you eat yours yet?
No, I didn't get, in my last order, I didn't get pantry items
You
in
didn't
there.
get egg rolls?
Oh, the egg rolls.
the
Yes,
egg
I did get
rolls.
those.
And the
Yes.
I think
dumplings.
we were thinking cake and donuts.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I thought like cupcakes.
The dumplings and the pretzel bites.
Yep.
Yo.
Wyatt loved the pretzel bites. He loves
Wow,
pretzels.
you got Wyatt to
I got him to
eat
eat those.
something. That's good.
In the first night, I ate the dumplings, and then the second night,
I did too. That was my first.
I was
I'm not somebody that gets a hankering for dumplings. I'm not like, I'm going to have, but I was like, well, they're already made, let me just throw it in. I needed something healthy and quick. I looked at the calories and the nutritional and it was great. And so I made them and they were freaking awesome.
Yep.
They were amazing.
Yes.
So then the next day I made half of the spring rolls for myself and I saved for when my niece came. I made them for her and she was like, "What are these? Did you make these?" And I was like, "No."
Can I say that the egg bites? I'm a
they have
proponent.
egg bites for
I am a
breakfast.
proponent of the Starbucks egg
Yes.
bites. These are better.
Yeah.
These are
Yes.
much
And
better.
cleaner
They taste
tasting.
cleaner.
Yes.
That's
Yes.
what I was going to
Yes.
say. They taste fresher and better.
Yeah, the egg rolls are better than I've had a lot of Chinese restaurants
Good
food.
stuff.
It's way better.
And it's quick, healthy, and ready. I was like, I need more of this in my life. You can cut down on the time in the kitchen. You don't have to go to the grocery store. Also, now they have fit and wholesome recipes that are full of fresh produce, and they're all under 650 calories per serving. If you're going on vacation this summer, it's so easy. Their website's so easy. You just go pause, skip. You can click skip this week, and then you can go back. They pre-select for you unless you go, and that's what I do. I go and look at the pretty pictures when I'm not hungry, preferably, and pick my meals for that week. And I'm definitely a little more adventurous now because I have learned that everything is always awesome.
Because we haven't even because you put your toe on the adventure thing, and I don't usually eat this like the pork burgers things, and we had those, and they were stunning.
Those Gouda.
And we're like, okay, well, I am now. Whatever they put in there, it's going to be good.
So go to HelloFresh.com. It's great that we talked about those appetizer things, because if you go to HelloFresh.com/Titus apps, Titus APPS, you get free appetizers for life. For as long as you are with HelloFresh, 1 appetizer item per box while your subscription is active. That's free appetizers for life at HelloFresh.com/Titus apps. America's #1 meal kit.
They're great stuff. I want to talk about electric cars. First of all, I want to talk about the Cybertruck. We have to talk about what a horrendous embarrassment this fucking truck is.
I'm seeing those fucking
and like, look, sometimes when a new car comes out, like when the new Vets hit the road, I was like, all right, okay, all right. Yeah. And when the first time I saw Cybertruck, because I saw it, I went to the premiere and I watched them break the windows, and then I saw him, but you didn't see him on the road. There was lights and lasers and shit, and you're like, okay. I saw it on the road and I'm like, this is horrendous.
That's what I thought. What is this fucking boulder that's just driving? It looks like, is there an avalanche coming? That just looks like a shitty.
Did the Matrix just go to pixels? Fuck. It's horrible. Right.
It looks like a space rock on the Jetsons or something. It is so... I have never had a vehicle make me feel shame and embarrassment for the person driving it. Whenever it's so cringy, because it's so ostentatious and so look at me and so embarrassing that I actually avoid eye contact with the car. When I see it coming, I'm like...
That's because it hurts your eyes. That's why.
Listen, when I see a guy with truck nuts, I think that guy's got a small penis. When I see him driving a Cybertruck, I say, you have no penis. Like, why are you driving it?
It's a micro for sure.
What is it about that truck?
That's why you drive little hatchbacks.
My God, my Prius is amazing, as I said in my own show. But I want to talk about so here's what I don't get about it. As I said, it makes me yearn for the horrendous design of the Pontiac Aztec, because at least that had a curve on it.
It is the modern Aztec. You called that 100%.
Pontiac Aztec. It's the worst. I've never seen, and everything about it is wrong. I watched a half-hour thing on a guy who bought one, and he was selling it. He said he was selling it, and he didn't care because Elon Musk made you sign a thing that you couldn't sell it, that you had to actually, they could sue you if you sold it within a year. Wow. And be clear, I want to be very clear. We have 2 Tesla Model S's. 2. We have the Tesla solar roof on our home. Mm-hmm. We are fans, not of Elon Musk. I think the guy's a twat.
Yeah.
But the vehicle, and that's why I want to talk about I want to talk about electric vehicles, because there's this thing going on about electric vehicles I want to clear up. Anyway, so why would you take... Like, you literally could do anything with electric platforms. You don't have to put the drive line in. Like when they do a car design, right? They have to put the engine goes here. That's got to connect to the rear end. Then they do drawings of how seats and then people, and then they have to build the car around those specific things. Yeah. Like, you have to actually. I've seen, because Chip Foose is a friend of mine. I've seen him do it. He did a couple of design things for Ford, and they had to put up. Okay, these are the specs that has to fit this many people. Yeah. Here's what the bodies look like. Here's how tall. Here's the average height.
It's like an organic process to go through that, and not like a fucking 80s arcade polygon.
Right, exactly. But you have to design it around it. Well, on an electric car, the batteries are in the bottom. There's 2 tiny motors in front and back. You could do anything. Yeah. You could, around the car, you could make it the coolest thing you've ever seen, as long as you do the safety things. And I look at this thing, and they said that because of it's stainless steel, it has no crumple zones.
Which are just plates, though, right? They're just plates slapped on, right?
No. They actually. So he invented So he had this. It's this process where it's built like a. They have to fold this steel.
Okay. It looks like it.
But then some of it is just slapped on. Yes, but the basic of the basic frame is like folded in this giant machine. But listen, if you're going to try and do new tech, don't just do it to fucking do it. Do it because it's better. Yeah. This car is not better. This guy was talking about it. I was watching the YouTube video, and he was like, here's all the things I hate about it. And you can't take it off road. The crumple zone sucks. They should crash tests of it. And I was like, I'm going to die in that.
We've got 100 years of beautiful car designs.
Yes.
That you could get inspired from.
And
of the best of the best.
And with the Tesla S, he did. There's Jaguar in it. There's Mustang in it. There's a little bit of Ferrari in it. There's like, it's got hips on it. Like that
was before Elon Musk though. Wasn't that
Musk,
designed before he got in?
Franz, the guy, the designer at Tesla is really great. And like the other, but so Musk came in and I almost like someone said that his kid drew a picture and he goes, I want to do a truck like that, Daddy. Yeah. And that's the square.
He said that.
Is that true?
Yeah, I read that too.
Ugh.
Get the
he
fuck
did it,
out of here.
His son. But I actually assumed when I read that it was one of his older sons, like the one that works with him. I didn't realize it was
the 4-year-old.
That makes so much sense.
It looks like
actually.
it's an unfinished like CAD drawing. You know what I mean? Like they just kind of.
It doesn't even look like that. It looks like a child drew it and said, "Daddy, make this." And Daddy's a 200 billion, and that's what happened. So here's what I want to say about electric cars. Now you got to understand, people. I wrote for a hot rod magazine for 5 years. I am a 100% ICE motor badass. How fast can it go? How cool can it look? And I love the. Yeah. I'm a drag racing fan. Tony Schumacher's a good friend of mine. When it comes to hot rodding and badass cars, not only that, but I just built one. The wagon. You can put a picture of it right here. I just built this. I have a 65 Corvette, 8 feet that way. I've had 13 at one point during when I had the TV show. I had 13 cars. I've had Foose built me a hot rod.
You did.
I had Ford Woodies.
Yeah.
I am a hot rod guy.
You had Z06, three different
Z06 Corvettes.
Viper.
I was going to get another what?
Dodge Viper.
I had a Dodge Viper. I love hot rods. Love fast cars. Here's what I will tell you. I have lived for 7 years with a Tesla Model S. Here's what I will tell you. Now, here's the problem with ICE cars. You got to change the oil. You got to change transmission.
Does ICE mean gas cars?
Internal combustion engine.
Oh, interesting. That sounds cool.
Yeah.
ICE cars.
So
your brother.
Oh, by the way,
is the GTO an ICE car?
This girl has a GTO internal combustion engine. Yes.
Yeah,
well, don't tap me.
It was
cool until I got.
It was the cutest girl. It was the cutest girl that you ever heard.
Dummy.
Is the GTO a nice car?
No, I said, is it a nice car?
Yeah. Both.
Look nice looking to the camera, by the way. So here's what I'll say. I have lived with this car for 7 years now, and I have to be honest with you. Over time, an ICE car, even whatever truck I've had, by the way, Rams, 5.7 Hemis. All my trucks have had Hemis in them. Here's what I've noticed. Over 7 years, the only thing I've had to maintain on this electric car, the only thing is tires.
And your integrity.
No. Yeah, and they forced me to rollerblade.
Your shame.
I had to become a rollerblader. That's the only thing I don't like. But and I'm riding a scooter half the time. No, but
I've never replaced anything.
But here's the thing. So what I did with my ICE car, with my ICE cars, I always customize them. With the Tesla, with the electric car, it's harder to do it. I put lowering links on it. I've lowered it. It's got a nice set of wheels on it.
Which is why you've had to replace your tires
because I got a little wider. Yeah. And the suspension, it's got independent suspensions. It's all like, it's based on Mercedes, like, so it rides great. And I was driving it to work today because I've been thinking, people go, oh, they're so expensive. Well, my Tesla Model S, which we paid a lot for because we were early adopters, because the reason I bought it was not because I'm a liberal and I want to get, oh my God, I have to get that Tesla because I'm typing that.
And drove one. And you were like, holy shit.
I have a buddy that works at Tesla. They took me for a ride and I went like, oh my God, my Z06 Corvettes couldn't keep up with it.
Yeah.
Not even close.
Yeah.
And I don't have the high performance one.
That's our thing in the house. I say, can I beat that Lamborghini? And he'll go, yep. Off the line, yep. Can I beat that Ferrari?
Yeah.
Yes, off the line. There's one car I can't.
To the quarter mile, you can beat them. The quarter mile, yeah.
Because there's no lag time.
Yeah,
so
the torque's incredible.
In an ICE car, when you hit the accelerator, like when I had my Mercedes, this is such a white conversation. But
when I had my Mercedes, you have to say like
it had seat massagers. When I had my Mercedes, and it was a fast car, but I would hit the accelerator and it would. Tesla, you hit it and it just goes. I mean, it's crazy
because the motor has to rev up, has to get to the. It makes
the fuel injection has to get into the catheters.
Right, okay,
the ICE process.
You are cute as a button.
And pop
the fuel injection. Let me tell you,
into the catheters.
I'm going to hear about that
and pop.
Trust me, there's going to be an argument about patting her.
No, I don't mind. About cars, he knows everything about cars.
Yes.
Literally, I have never known anyone to know more about one thing in my life.
Well,
When I
my son-
first met him, he pops off the most insane. He has to I know I'm dumb about it because he has to practice with me what I say when people ask me about the GTO. I think I have it. It's an original 242 car, but it's got a 7455.
Yay!
Is that right?
That is a nice
I
car.
almost said 454, but it was 455.
454 Chevy. 455 is Pontiac.
Whenever I've driven Titus around for something, and like Tesla or whatever,
Yeah.
and he'll be in the passenger side,
Yeah.
and I'm like, I have to merge. I'm pulling away, and he'll go hit it, and I'm like,
Same with
this
me.
is a Corolla, sir, with a hybrid engine.
Yeah.
It's like,
yeah, you have a hybrid.
It's not that. It's that he likes to direct from the passenger seat. And I am not kidding. He, many times in the time that I have known him, has told me, turn right. And it's our driveway. So it's just what he does.
but the Tesla will make you drive differently because it's that torque.
Well,
you can
Also, the braking.
You can also,
Yeah.
I can go and
So what he
stop
did-
really fast.
Well, to his credit, Elon Musk owned a McLaren, one of the early McLarens. What he did was the speed, how fast it was, and how it would brake. He said, this car, this 4-door passenger car, has to match what my McLaren does. And it does. So when you guys talk about it's too expensive, well, so it's cheaper than an Audi. The Tesla S Model S, the loaded one, even the Plaid is less right now
Yeah,
than
everything.
an Audi.
Isn't it 40,000 now?
No. Yeah, the 3s and stuff, the 3s and the Ys. Yeah.
and
So-
then how much are the smaller ones?
The smaller ones are like I think
20 something, right?
Used ones you can get them for $20,000. So, but here's what I'll tell you.
And by the way, used means nothing with Tesla.
No,
they will
that's
go
what I know.
forever.
By the way, that's what I noticed. The motors and the batteries. I've had a little bit of degradation in 7 years on my battery.
Yeah.
It went from 335 miles of range to 300 miles of range.
I've
Here's
never had that high.
and here's what I will tell you. Yeah, because you don't have that many miles on yours. You
No,
drive-
I
you
never
don't-
had that many miles of range.
Yeah, you did 335. You had the same exact.
When I got mine, when I would charge it, it was 328 was my thing, but it has gone down now.
Yeah, yours is still 315 or 309 or something.
yeah.
So, but that you've had yours 5 years. Here's what I'll say about this car. So gas costs $5 a gallon in California, right? It's insane. You have a hybrid and you're still pissed.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He has a hybrid. He's like, this thing gets 60 and fuck. So when I go fill my truck up, it's $150 to fill my truck up.
Yeah.
The Tesla, we bought a charger for the house. If you have a home, now I get it. If you have live in an apartment, it's going to be more of a bitch. But maybe you can get the apartment to install a charger downstairs.
A lot of them have now.
Yeah. So it's 13 cents a kilowatt. So I have a 100 kilowatt car. So it costs $13 to fill my car up to go 300 miles.
I like to think of it as zero.
Yeah, because it just goes in your electric bill. But you don't. But so we the way we're doing, and if you have solar in your house, it's basically free. Really?
Yeah, we do have solar, so that's why I like to think of it. The thing is, and people do complain about it, but like our buddy Mikey, who runs Brea, he got one out because we were
got a 3 or a Y.
Yeah, we were so Tesla crazy, and he was like, "Oh, I can't afford it. I got a kid, man." So he goes and gets one of the Y, I think, right?
Yeah.
And
he got the little SUV. Yeah, the Y.
it's really, really cute. And he was like, I started getting texts like, "Oh my God, Rachel." And this thing even drives in snow. He drove it to Big Bear. So no maintenance. I don't get oil changes. No hoses, no
Belts.
gas, no belt, no nothing. I've had it 5 years. I have done
No
that
radiator
much
blowing
to it.
out. No, the one thing. So there's a 12-volt battery, a little normal battery that
that's
powers up
That's right.
certain things. On her car, we've had that happen twice, and I've
never had it.
and I've never had it on my car, but
So
I've
it's
replaced it.
obviously a problem. With
Yeah,
Yeah, but that's all cars have that.
it's something in
Yeah.
battery.
He
but
replaces
also
that.
and also it updates over the air. Now other companies are starting to do that now, but all of a sudden you'll turn it on one day and you're like, oh,
It does
this
new
is better
things.
now.
Oh,
This
yeah.
does
My
new
car's
stuff.
red now. What?
Yeah.
I don't understand.
Yeah.
It also has amazing tech that stops and stuff. And by the way, Elon Musk is a douchebag.
He really
I got to
is.
say
He's
that.
very unfortunate.
He needs to stop talking because the product is so good.
Yeah.
Except for the Cybertruck. Please. He said when he designed the Cybertruck, he came out and he goes, "This may not be everybody's cup of tea, and if it doesn't work, I am going to we'll make a new kind of truck." I would love to see what they really did. If they could do a truck like they did the Model S or the Model Y or something like that, I would probably buy that truck.
His is 7 years old. Mine is 5. And so I just want to make it clear that we got them before he
Was a douchebag before he lost his shit. Yeah.
Utter douchebag and bought Twitter and allowed racist people a platform. Yeah.
He's still doing it.
And that's why now we're
He
both
wants to get
like,
Trump elected.
it's kind of embarrassed. Ugh. He met with him a
Yep.
few weeks ago. This episode brought to you by Fitbod.
Yes, Fitbod. Thank God.
Everybody comments on his guns these days.
I
send pictures of something else and he's in it, and everyone's like, "Wow, look at Titus looking good." And I'm like,
Hey!
we were supposed to look at the
Fitbod has
peach tree.
changed my health. It has changed my fitness. It has changed my ability to like. Okay, here's a perfect example. So I've been doing Fitbod for about 2 years now, almost 2 years. Actually, November will be 2 years, and it forces me to check my workouts all the time. It keeps up with me. It's like, here's how many times I can go back every month and go, oh shit, I only did 4 that week. And
made you accountable.
Yeah, it really does. But it's in your own brain. It kind of trains you to be better. So I go to this ninja thing with Tony Horton, a fitness P90X guy, Tony Horton. And on Sunday we do this crazy workout it's honestly some of the stuff, and I love Tony, but some of the stuff I'm like, Tony makes a list on a whiteboard. And it's like he names these exercises, and you're like, the names are so obtuse. You're like, that's a death fall. What's a death fall? I don't know. And so you'll do push-ups on 2 balls with your feet on another ball, and you'll do as max as you can do.
Impossible.
You got to keep it balanced. We do a climb a 20-foot rope. He's got these 2 pull-up bars. One's 8 or 9 feet high. One's 20 feet high. He has a rope hanging from the 20-foot. When you climb the rope, you get up and you hang on this 20-foot in the air thing, and you do as many pull-ups as you can do.
Makes Marines quit and cry.
Then you have to, when you're burned out,
Yeah.
you have to reach for the rope and climb down. That's always this part.
That's
So Tony, it's great, and I do it, and and every time I go, it scares me. Like I literally started running my mind on the night before that. Oh my God, I got to go do this workout, and how do I do it? He's a ninja course. It's crazy. I was when I was drinking and I wasn't working out, like because before Fitbod, I would go do it, and I was always kind of low man in the bottom third of the guys, at least, sometimes last. Since Fitbod, I did it last time. I'm doing salmon ladder, bang. I made it through the ninja course way farther than I ever made it. Personal best, just personal best after personal best after personal best. And it's all because I got this app, Fitbod, and I started putting in what I want. I have 3 or 4 different settings. Like I have lean and clean, which is to get my body mass up like a little more calisthenic-y. Then I have another one called lean and clean cardio, which adds jump rope, or you can design it however you want, whatever
what your goal is,
whatever you want,
and for the equipment you have.
Yes, and it'll track you. Every once in a while on my phone, I go, boom, and I'm looking at Fitbod like, hey, you haven't worked out in 2 days.
Yeah, we were in bed on the road. We were in Ohio in bed. It was East Coast, so it was 3 hours ahead. But Fitbod didn't care or know that. We've done a show. We didn't work out that day, and his phone goes, "Beep." And that's the sound that I always hear coming from the workout room when he's done with an exercise. It cues him to stop doing that. And I sat up and I go, was that Fitbod in the middle of the night? And he was like, oh shit, it's telling me I got to work out.
Titus.
So it's great. It's a great app, and it really has changed my health and fitness. And also
it adapts to your growth too.
And as your growth happens, it's really interesting how if you follow it, you start to get inspired about how you're looking, which makes you inspired to do more, which makes you inspired to do more. It's really kind of cool.
It makes you part of the team, like your cause in the matter, kind of.
Yeah.
And
that's also like a game. Like I get to beat
and
it.
it's interactive, and it makes funny noises. It's fine-tuned by experienced certified personal trainers. There's demonstration videos. If you've never worked out before, it doesn't matter. You can have your own personal
Every
trainer.
exercise has a
You don't
video.
have to go to the gym. You can stay at home in the beginning or forever if you want. That's what I've
I check
decided
those
to
videos
do.
all the time for form. Like
Yeah.
sometimes I'll be like, am I doing this right? Because like you'll do like I'll do.
There's one guy you don't like.
It's one guy I don't like because he overdoes it. He got the job and he's going to show them.
Add Fitbod to your workout essentials. Join Fitbod today to get your personalized workout plan. You'll get 25% off of your subscription, or you can just try the app for free at fitbod.me/Titus. That's FITBOD.me/Titus.
And summer's close, people. Get on it. Get on it. And my mental state.
Now is that there's
helps.
no too late, by the way. My grandma Jean at 89 was still going to the sports center and doing, I always called them plyometric lat pull downs. Instead of sitting down and, bringing it down slowly, she would stand in front of it on a low weight and go. And people would be like, and I'd say, just let her go.
Just let her do what
go.
she's doing.
But it's never too late.
You can
And
film it for TikTok, but for God's sake, don't say
she
anything.
credited working out and keeping her body moving she credited that for her longevity.
Yeah. You know what? I saw a great commercial. I was telling Jed about it. My son was Father's Day. He came over. We worked on his car. I have to be honest. As dads, kids, listen. If your father doesn't want a shirt, he doesn't want a new
Tell
pair
him
of
what Jet
shoes.
bought for you. I knew about this
We
before.
got to post it.
Okay.
I knew about this before, and I just thought it is very Jet.
So he finds online
They're popular.
there's an African dance group in Africa that if you like a cameo, you send them money, they will do a birthday song
And someone's
for you.
name and picture. They
Name and
print
picture.
out the picture of the person, and he used the inner idiot face. That one.
So he sends this picture.
And then they make a sign, but instead of Christopher Titus, he put Pimpstopher Titus because that's
Jed
what he calls
me
him.
Pimpstopher Titus, yeah.
And they do a dance and a song.
And it just starts
then-
out happy birthday. I thought, oh, he just found a video of these guys, and all of a sudden they pop my name out. I'm
and
like,
his
what?
picture.
What is going on?
That's awesome.
And then at the end, they always
We'll put it at
kiss
the end,
people's pictures. That's part of the
Yeah,
thing. He
yeah.
asked me, he goes, do you know those guys that do they're on TikTok? And I said, yeah. And he goes, yeah, that's what I got him. He did it before Father's Day. It wasn't an afterthought. He had planned this.
And the funny thing is that because I get it. What could Dad possibly need?
Yeah,
he knows my life, and
he wanted to make you laugh.
Make you laugh.
It did. I was like, oh, this is cute up until my name, and I was like,
I was so glad because I was worried it was going to be a ukulele. I thought it was going to be a ukulele situation. Like, no.
So, well, then, and just so you know, kids, Father's Day, mothers want gifts and they want love. Fathers just want you to hang out with them.
Yeah.
He came over, brought his car over. He's going to college in the fall, and to his credit, I must have done something right. He goes, my brakes are squeaking. And I'm like, they're squeaking. What kind of squeak? Is it a or is
grind?
it an ee? He goes, no, it's a really high, embarrassing ee. And I'm like, all right, bring it over. Because that means the tabs are touching.
Yeah.
That means the brake tabs
You're
are
not just
touching.
gonna bend them out.
The warners
Yes.
are saying, hey, we're warning you, your brakes are running out. The kid brings his car. We pull the wheels, pull all four wheels. I'm not sure which brakes. I think it's there's one making noise in the back, one making noise in the front. Check the back ones. They're fine. We pull the front wheels off. The kid was literally a millimeter away from running out of brake pad.
Wow.
And I was like, you are the smartest kid. Like I waited till my brakes before my dad hit me in the back of the head.
There's no material.
It was
Gone.
just hamburger.
Yeah,
The rotors were just hamburger. Anyway, back to Tesla real quick. I want to point this out. So guys, the car cost me, like, if I pay $150 in my truck and I pay $13 to go the same distance in my car, that's all that money over 7 years. Then you've got I've never had to put exhaust gaskets in it. I have to send my truck in. Got to go to service. I haven't had to change the oil, $90 a pop. I haven't had to replace the belts, the hoses. I haven't had to do anything to this car. And when people start to, their two EVs are losing their popularity, I'm like, I'm a car guy. Trust me, if this car was shit, I'd be the first guy.
There's a
Cybertruck, shit.
There's a new hit job being done on EVs.
100%.
And we all know why. Again, follow the money. There's oil and
companies
gas.
made $55 billion in profit. Sorry, that's
Donald
one
Trump
company.
just at a fundraiser a few weeks ago told oil and gas executives to give him $2 billion.
Yeah.
And he would pull all of the EPA regs if he gets elected.
So not only does it cost us more money for all this maintenance for these fucking
kills us.
piece of shit. Exactly.
It
kills
people.
the fucking planet.
It kills the planet.
What are they all saying now
Science
about the
doesn't know.
batteries that you can't recycle?
Oh, that's another lie.
That's the new thing.
They keep saying that you can't. Yeah, what happened to the batteries? Well, EV batteries, you can actually, when you take them out of the car.
Yeah.
So the car's still there. You can, which by the way,
it still runs.
You could put a new battery in it.
Yeah.
But you can, you take the batteries out and everything that batteries are made with, you melt them down. It's recyclable. The lithium, all of it's recyclable.
They're all saying it's not.
Look it, though it is. Look it up.
I know.
It's 100. Batteries are 100% recyclable. Do you know how I can prove it to you? You ever go get a new battery? What do they give you back at fucking AutoZone? They give you $20 off.
Yeah.
They go give us because they send them back in. They melt them and they make new batteries out of them.
Yep.
You fucking morons. So here's the thing. We have to start questioning everything that comes up when it comes to a corporation who's making money off that. You said it. Follow the money. You have to do it. When it comes to our country, do you know out of 33 industrialized nations, there's one that hasn't figured out healthcare? One. Yeah. Ours. Everybody else has free healthcare. Here's what's going to happen now. So here's how America works. The rest of the countries, by the way, if you get sick, like your operation, we have to pay. You would not believe what you too.
And then you get bills for months and months after.
You pay for healthcare insurance, and then you get a fucking bill.
Yep.
So here's what happens. So you work your life right off. They don't teach you about money in school. They don't teach you about investing. They don't teach you how to make money. They teach you how to earn money so they can make money. Yeah. Then what happens is you save up a little bit of money. You get a little bit of a retirement going on. Maybe your retirement goes up a little bit because you had a Democrat in office and the fucking economy didn't tank like they do every time with Republicans. So you get this little bit of money. Now you're 70. You got a house. Oh my God, you've spent 15, 20, 30 years paying for this house. You've got some equity in it. You've got 400,000 in equity. You've got 200,000 in equity. You've got 100,000 in the bank. You've got $300,000 or $400,000. You're like, you know what? That's going to be tight. But maybe the last 10 years of my life, after busting my ass for 6 decades, 7 decades, I can actually chill out for a couple years before I die. Mm-hmm. Then you get cancer. And then all that money you raised gets paid for to a medical facility, and to doctors, medications, which aren't covered.
Even when my mom passed away, after that, Randy got bills for, I want to say, about $98,000.
He was getting bills for $11,000 at a time.
Yeah, they were, no, we're not going to cover this because she died, that she didn't really need that. So that was palliative. You were keeping her comfortable by giving her
while she was in horrible pain from pancreatic cancer.
Yes.
So just so you know, the entire system is based on fucking you over. Do you get it? The entire capitalist system, and I'm a capitalist. Look, I got to make money, but I give value. I go make you laugh, and your brain creates endorphins, and I make you healthier. That's what you get. I give you something. The gas companies and the oil companies and the medical facilities, they don't want to cure you. Do you know we could cure some of this shit? Mm-hmm. But they don't want to cure you because, as Chris Rock so famously said during that one bit, Chris Rock, brilliant. The money's on the comeback. Every drug dealer knows the money's on the comeback. Mm-hmm. We could invent something that might keep you high forever, but that money's on the comeback.
Yeah, don't cure anything.
They want to keep you sick and just alive enough to keep paying them until you're fucking out of money.
Yep.
And then, oh, you got to die now. Sorry. So just be clear.
Say it again. And I do not feel more emphatic about almost anything is that healthcare is a basic at the basis of everything. That is a human right.
Yep.
Healthcare.
Especially we pay taxes. We pay taxes.
Yeah.
Healthcare. You not being afraid to be sick, you not being afraid to go broke. How did we just cap insulin prices? Thank you, Joe Biden. How did that just happen?
There was $600
People were going
a month.
broke and they die without it. I mean, it is nuts to me that when you bring up healthcare, all these morons, some of them were related to, we'll say, socialism. You know why you you can feel that way is because you can afford the health care.
Yeah.
Some of us can't.
It's easy for you to sit where you're sitting and condescendingly say that other people don't deserve rights. And that's what they all do with immigrants. You know, when my dad was here, I kept pointing out how immigration keeps California going. And without California going, people aren't eating across the country.
Right.
And not just eating, but California, the taxes that we pay gets flooded into Alabama,
Kentucky,
Mississippi,
Tennessee,
Kentucky.
yeah.
I mean,
Florida.
People, it blows my mind that people lack
Missouri.
critical thinking anymore, that they can't stop instead of just, if you say to me, you know, radical
Left.
if you say to me, socialism, if you say woke, I already discount your intellect
You're a
because you
moron.
don't have it.
You're a fucking
I
moron.
already am out because I know that you can't sit and think through anything. You are only an automatron. You're repeating what somebody said, what the masses around you are saying. You're not stopping to think through things like this IVF thing now. Like, what?
Can we talk about this for a second? Yeah,
What?
Okay, so wait a minute. You're anti-abortion. You're pro-life. Okay, you're pro-life. You think babies should always be born. Okay, but so you want to ban abortion, but you also want to ban in vitro fertilization,
and
so people can have babies.
birth control.
And birth control.
Birth control, which would help stem the abortions that you say that you hate so much.
It doesn't make any sense. You can
But
make
you
it,
want
make it make
babies,
sense.
but
You-
the people that are paying tens and thousands
To
or
have
maybe
babies.
hundreds of thousands to have babies with IVF because they can't, otherwise you don't want that. Oh, wait, so it's just about putting your foot on women's necks. Okay,
Amen.
got it.
There
Got
you
it.
go.
We got a little too uppity. We got a little too much power. There's at least 22% of us in CEO positions now. And then we got a vice presidential spot. And so, okay. So the
Wait,
reason it doesn't
that's
make
enough.
sense.
And she's a minority. Hold up, we gotta pump the brakes on this,
Yeah.
man. We got a black woman, and she's Indian too. Holy shit!
The whole country's going to shit.
Yeah.
So let's talk this through a little bit because I'm gonna write a bit about this. The new show's gonna have this bit in it. So just to edit you people out that don't want to hear me lecture, but I'll make it funny. You pay taxes, so we pay. So if you pay taxes, it's 1.6 trillion a year in taxes a country pays. Of that money, 860 billion goes to fucking weapons and Lockheed and building fucking planes. That, by the way, they spent 14 billion, or they spent $2 trillion on that last fighter plane that didn't work, and no one's fucking said shit about it. We didn't get anything for it, but no one said shit about it. Okay, so we spent 800 billion on weapons, and then we spent 716 or 760 on stuff for America. Now, Biden at least is infrastructure. They cleared that bridge is open up now. They knocked down a major bridge, and so it's up and running.
No, wait. I thought they just got rid of the parts. And
No,
now
the bridge. Yeah, the bridge isn't rebuilt, but they cleared it out. Yeah, so they can
Right.
get through
Yeah,
it now.
yeah,
They
yeah.
can get the shipping going
Oh,
again.
right.
So,
Okay.
by the way, that's right. So the supply chain got fucked up, and Biden fixed it again. Want to point it out.
Everywhere we go, the airports just this weekend,
Oh, my
every
God.
airport is either under construction or just completed. Where we're walking through, where was the one we were just in when we were like, "Holy crap!" Look at
Not
this.
Dallas. It was Kansas City.
Kansas
we
City.
were like, what? This is
Utah, Salt Lake too. The week before when we flew through,
It's
we were like,
crazy.
"Holy crap!" They upgraded.
What happened
this.
when we got off the plane in LA? Because it's LA things been going on for a while. And it's
Yeah.
been annoying me. But we walked out of the terminal and I was like, we got off the plane and I was like, holy shit.
Yeah. Which, by the way, if you go to Europe, that's what their airports look like,
Right.
and have for a very long
When we went
time.
to South Africa, years ago, we were like stunned at how come this place looks so much better than, not the bad parts, but the stuff they rebuilt since apartheid. You're like, I was looking at the
Yeah,
toilet. I was
there's
stunned by
some
the toilet.
downsides.
I was stunned by the toilet. I was like, how come we don't have toilets like this? This toilet's
Japan,
amazing.
You want to have
Yeah.
your mind blown about all types of
I started
technology.
research.
Your
Yeah.
whole body
Holy
blown.
moly. Japanese toilets. That's a relationship.
So we keep doing this bullshit, this manifest destiny. We're number one, and people, you want to figure out how we're not? Just travel a little bit.
and
You'll
they
be-
don't think we are anymore.
No,
They laugh at us.
They-
All of the street performers in Edinburgh, when we would go up on the mile and watch street performers, their like hacky joke
It's American jokes.
American jokes, either about how dumb, fat, or gun-toting we are.
Yeah.
They got it
Every
right.
single one. And the shit we eat. And the shit we eat.
Yeah.
Because, by the way, so here's how America is. And look, I want us to be number one. Look, my family, again, I'm talking about my new show, has been here since 1628. I love this country. You have to understand something. I don't have a job without the freedom this country provides.
Yeah.
I have freedom of speech. That's my entire life.
Yeah.
So I love this country. We were talking this weekend. I just told her this morning, we were talking about someone. I was going, do you realize that we get to do this? Like it's a blessing.
Yeah.
I love this country, but I am honest about it. And I will tell you this right now. If 33 other countries of the 33, 32 can figure out how to make sure everybody has health care. Everybody doesn't have to be scared to death to even book an appointment. I got this thing. I can't go. Why? Because it's going to cost me $800.
Before
and I can't
my
afford
surgery,
800 fucking bucks.
they let us into a room with a lady with
The
a
financial
credit
lady.
card machine, and they weren't going to let me go back
It's
unless
literally-
we paid. I think they said we need $2,800 right now
to start.
and that wasn't including all the bills I got after.
And these brainwashed dumbasses are fighting against Biden is trying to do another thing to help with the healthcare issue.
He's trying to expand Obamacare, which Obamacare turned in this clusterfuck because the Republicans tried to vote it out 50 times. We need universal health care in this country. Do you want to stop the high cost of health care? Here's the problem. What's happening is because we don't have health care, because you can't go to a doctor, because you can't go get something checked out, because if there's a bump on your neck, you're like, fuck, if I go to check this out, how much are the tests? $1,100?
Yeah.
Can't do it. Sorry. So what happens is you let that grow.
Yeah.
So then a year from now, you go, oh, you have cancer.
Yeah.
Guess what? You're done now.
Yeah.
So now you're fucked. So if you made it so we could all go to the doctor and it didn't kill us, what would happen was they would catch the shit early and get rid of it.
Mm-hmm.
Then we wouldn't have to die. You'd live a longer life, which puts more money into the economy. So you pay more taxes. You live longer. And at the end of your life, your kids get your money. But that's right there. They do not want to give you. If the transfer of wealth is not from generation to generation in America, the transfer of wealth is generation to corporation. That's why we're fucked.
And it's even worse than that. I mean, talk about the fucking price gouging that
Oh, yeah.
in the equipment that they
The
use.
second they have an excuse.
Oh my God. Well, it always comes up like I've mentioned that plastic tube, $1,200 for a plastic tube
Yeah.
that shows up on your bill. It's not
Oh,
only
Band-Aids?
Aspirin
Like, yeah.
was $10
Yeah.
per.
so not only are they keeping you paying for the service, they're quadruple fucking
Yeah.
quintillion the fucking everything that you have to pay for once you get in there.
Yeah. I say this all the time. When I was running clubs and I did not have insurance, I learned that first of all, I had to go to the emergency room to get anything treated, to get help. I couldn't
Afford it.
just go to a doctor.
Right.
Yeah. Until I learned one thing. And then when the financial office calls you and says, you owe $78,000, I say I'm uninsured. I'm self-pay, which I then learned to do with doctors' offices. So then they would go, oh, then $500.
Mm-hmm.
When I would go to doctors' offices, they would say, what insurance do you have? And I would say, I don't have insurance. And she would say, oh, okay. Then it would be something that's, $1,200. Then you can just pay us $120. It
So
was all,
it's pay
and I was
direct.
always like, how does that? So you guys are overbilling.
It's the scams. Oh, you're the con
And
man.
then
Yes.
they're over, and
They're
then
billing the insurance
there's
company.
covered,
Yeah.
You're
So I
in
have
your
a friend-
network, but you're out. What?
So I have a friend. I have two friends. I have actually a doctor, our family doctor, and then I have my really good friend who stopped flat out
Yeah.
taking insurance. Stopped.
Yeah.
Nope. Why? Because he figured out that I can deal with all this paperwork, and I have to hire one person that their
Yeah.
entire fucking job is to send the 75 pages to the fucking insurance
Yeah.
company that's raping everybody.
and then get denied.
And then I only get 10% or 20% of what I get. And so instead of that, and the insurance company's charging us so much money that it's insane.
Marshall was owed an insane amount of
Oh,
money
he was
and
on the
couldn't
insurance
get
company.
it.
So, and by the way, it's not, you can't blame the doctors. It's not the doctor's fault. It's
Right.
the corporations that run the medication and the medical equipment.
Yep.
My friend, at one point, he called me and I'm like, you do what? You're packed all the time. He's one of the best doctors in the world. And he goes, no, he goes, they owe me $360,000
Yeah.
from his insurance company. The people had already been helped. They've been billed.
Yeah.
And
They
Biden
should-
is trying to remove medical debt so it can't get
Socialism.
reported on your credit.
Yeah,
Socialism.
but all these socialism assholes, listen, did you drive to work today? Guess what? That road that's socialism. Did you know, highway that you drove on vacation? That's fucking socialism. You know that the rest stop you stopped at? That's socialism. You know the fire truck that Shane put your house up before it burned the fuck down? That's socialism. Do you know those pipes that are under your street? That's just fucking socialism. You know, have your water in your house? That's socialism. So shut the fuck up. I'm so tired of people whining. You fucking... I'd rather have my tax dollars used to help Americans than it would to help corporations. Because currently, right now, our tax dollars are helping Lockheed and fucking Raytheon, and they're helping all the medical community. Fuck, man. I'm so
That's
fucking
the thing
tired.
that makes me insane too, and then we can go. But I wanted to say,
yeah, let's get Titus peaked and then unleash him on the world. That's a great idea.
Spit him up. Let him go like a top.
Check that one. The cameras might be turning off. Because we've been here so long.
I always check it.
Is that for us under Trump, the tax cuts benefited us.
Right.
It actually, because we have a business, it actually helped us, and we still fought against it and have railed against it for 7-8 years now because it is not for the greater good.
Right.
I want to make money, but I don't want to do it by stepping on the heads of other people.
People that are poorer than us are really people that
I'm not.
Also, in the long run, if we had universal health care, you wouldn't have all the money out of your pocket for anything that you've had to pay for.
Well,
you wouldn't have had to pay for.
Well, insurance companies go away. So so insurance companies in the last 10 years have paid over $500 million to Congress.
Oh my God.
Over.
God.
People are
what are we
stupid,
doing?
and we
People are
keep making
stupid.
the same
Mistake.
mistake. I had this screen open because we were talking about it earlier, but it's just mind-boggling that during World War II, the United States forcibly relocated and incarcerated roughly 120,000 people of Japanese descent into 10 different concentration camps operated by the War Relocation Authority.
Yeah.
Approximately 2/3 were United States citizens.
I love it. The WRA, the raw.
What happened to FART?
I think they realized that they were
The
made
Floor Action Response Team.
the
that
Republican
Marjorie
Floor
Taylor
Action
Greene.
Response Team. Man, someone got their ass bitch slapped for that. Did you name it the Floor Action? Did you not think that through, dipshit?
It happened.
Somebody was like,
Marjorie
Vance,
Taylor
you moron.
Greene, JD. No, it was Marjorie. It wasn't JD. It was Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, Jim Jordan. They all started the Floor Action Response Team.
We have
I
a
really
mole
was
in the.
happy about that.
Hey, let's name it that.
Let's get him. We got him. We're high-fiving in the
So,
background.
guys, do me a favor. Please wake up. Please, and your friends that are telling you, man, socialism to go, just keep asking those questions. Do you like driving to work?
Literally wake up because
Yeah.
we've been talking for 2 hours.
Wake
Wake up. Yeah.
Guys-
Come see us. We won't talk this long. Well, actually, combined, the two of us will. June 20th, that is this Thursday. We're going to be at Desert Ridge Improv, and then we're going to do the Friday, Saturday, Sunday at the Tempe Improv. We love that club.
Yep.
That is where we first met Nils and Amy. That we've been going to that club forever and ever.
Filmed a special there.
July 12th and 13th, we're going to be in Omaha. Those always sell out, so make sure you get those. July 26th and 27th, we just added Wise Guys in Las Vegas. It's not on the Strip. It's the only reason he agreed to do it.
Yeah, I don't like Vegas.
Really cool, funky club. They get great acts. I went and looked at people that they have. So July 26th, 27th, new show just added in Vegas.
Do you know I like the people of Vegas, though? The people that live there? Not the people that go there. But
Yeah,
the people that
yeah,
live there.
yeah.
Because imagine the bullshit that those people that live in Vegas and work in those casinos, the bullshit they have to deal with all the time.
Yeah.
I love those
They
people.
never visit it. They always just
they
work
work there like, yeah, can't I wait
We
to get it?
also have a bunch of new dates coming up, so be watching the site. We have Boise coming up. We have Twin Falls, both of those in October. We are adding St. Louis, Nashville, Pittsburgh, Buffalo, with so many new dates. But I want you guys to specifically know two of our all-time favorites. December 7th, Royal Oak Theater in Michigan.
Yes.
It's in Royal Oak, Michigan, or Dearborn, or somewhere near there, but it's Detroit. And then December 21st, we decided to do our tradition because we missed it last year. We're going to close out our year at the Neptune in Seattle. That always sells out too.
And guess what, guys? I'm working on a new show. How far am I into the new show?
He's
In a
got
couple of weeks?
Over 20 minutes already.
Now.
And,
Wow.
and
Yeah.
they are
Jay was
laughing
pissed.
so hard that he got off stage like 5 different times and goes, "Why aren't they laughing so hard?"
This bit on DNA.
And I
that I'm
said,
doing.
because it's funny. And I guess you're thinking of back in the old days when you first wrote stuff.
Took me 10 months to get
like
it to work.
me, and it doesn't kill at first. And I've been doing some new stuff too.
Yeah, it's
so
kill. And do you notice because you've done it so long now?
makes the other
One
stuff
more thing,
better.
I'll just say, my son who started doing stand up, he's kind of found this little bit of a niche, and he's done it maybe 6-7 months now. And I told him I had 21 minutes of new stuff, and he goes, I only got like maybe 10 minutes, maybe. I've been working for. How did you do that too? He's like,
and he can't get that to work.
And I go, 40 years. That's how I did it. 40 years.
920 minutes I have written.
That's true. It's 920. You're right. Guys, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Thanks for tolerating us. Before we go, though, I'd like to hear it's Highlanders Fun Facts. Highlanders Fun Facts. It's Highlanders Fun Facts.
Yeah.
Healthcare. The world's oldest dog lived
because he had healthcare. That's why
Exactly.
he made it that long.
The world's oldest dog lived to 29 and a half years old.
Wow.
What is that, like 700 years old in dog years? While the median age of a dog tends to be about 10 to 15 years, one Australian cattle dog named Bluey survived to the ripe old age of 29 and a half. Now,
Wow.
the world's oldest cat, this is like a difference between men and women. The world's oldest cat lived to 38 years old.
Wow.
I had a friend recently. Buddy's wife had a cat, 28 years old.
Are you serious?
28, died at 28. It's like, could you imagine? Like, it's like you're decomposing. When you're still breathing and decomposing, it's time to put me down. Put me down, for God's sakes.
Groucho's going to live to 58.
Yeah.
He's-
Guys, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Please go to ChristopherTitus.com. New website launching pretty soon. Do me a favor. Go to shows. The new shows really. It's funny, man. Writing a new one's always it's always a journey, and I'm having fun with this one. And her new stuff, she started doing this. I can't even tell you. You have to come see it, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Myself, the lovely Bombshell Ryan, the Highlander. Later.
Peace out.
There could be only one.
Did I say Bombshell Ryan?
You did.
I said the Bombshell Ryan.
Say it right, and I had to cut it in.
I'm sorry. I've said too many words
Sandwich.
too fast.
High for the day. High for the day. Dad. Dad. You are the best. You are the best. Dad. Dad. In the world. In the world. Number one. Number one. Beef stuffer. Beef stuffer. Titus. Titus.